Hi, I'm Henry Gowney-Hedges. I'm Deputy Head Teacher at Kineton in charge of inclusion. We're a secondary school, above average secondary school in South Warwickshire, recruiting from a range of areas, so some very rural areas and small built-up areas, and that obviously brings lots of opportunities but lots of challenges as well. I think there are two kind of fundamental things we were looking for when we were doing our research and we came across TUTE. There was the emotionally based school avoidance students that we were looking to start to bring into school, and we were looking for provision that they could start at home and then engage with in school and then move into the main school building, and that was a really important part of it. And the second area that we were kind of looking for was, again, with those students who were struggling with the school curriculum, and we were looking for some additional support in English or maths. We were possibly looking to trim them down a little bit, and again it was about providing them with something a bit more bespoke and with a bit more flexibility than that kind of core timetable day. I think one of the things I really like about the TUTE is the fact that it comes on a 2-day pair, which actually works really nicely because it means you can blend it with other things. So you can do a Monday, Tuesday for your English, Maths, Science, and then have 3 days of something else, whether that's in-school provision or whether that's kind of some social emotional work. So I think that works really nicely. And the second thing is there is a real ease of setting it up and flexibility around changing things, which is really, really beneficial. I think in terms of the benefits of TUTE, they're in twofold. Number one, again, with those students who were struggling to engage with kind of the full school curriculum, they have had some additional maths and science and English support generally, and again that has obviously helped boost their final outcomes because they've had input that they otherwise wouldn't have had or wouldn't have accessed. And the second thing is actually, in terms of those students that have been struggling to get into school, having something they can start at home in the comfort of their home environment and then come and do with some one-to-one support in school, it's helped bring that transition through. So in terms of the outcomes, it's actually been about seeing them more and starting to get some of them into the mainstream school. The reason I like TUTE is because it's quite straightforward, it's quite simple, and it's a model that works. You can overcomplicate things, I think, a bit sometimes, can't you? In terms of the dedicated account manager, Julie's been amazing, and that has been one of the real benefits. Is I can ping her an email and say I need this, and it will be sorted almost instantaneously. I know it says 48 hours, but the vast majority of stuff I've had comes before that, which is really useful because you're quite often working on some very, very short time frames for what you need. So that ability to go to Julie and to look at it and to talk about how we're doing and how we're using it has been fantastic. I think the biggest difference it's made for us is we've got students who are attending school who otherwise wouldn't be attending school with that provision. That's where we've really seen the benefit of TUTE. Academic outcomes are sometimes a little bit harder to measure. We have had some students who've done mainly TUTE and come out with some really good outcomes. And we've had students who've struggled with, again, that mainstream curriculum who've benefited, but that's harder to measure. I think for me, it's bodies in the building that otherwise might not be. I'd certainly recommend it to other educational settings. There's a range of providers and they all offer slightly different things, but I think with TUTE you have consistency. You have the short-term or the longer-term packages, kind of whether it's 2 days a week or 4 days a week, which again gives you a bit more flexibility to kind of move your curriculum and your offer around what TUTE offer, which isn't always there with some of the other providers. I think I'd say, speak to your dedicated account manager, because that's what I did, and you find out very quickly then what is and isn't possible, and quite often more is possible than you think. And I think that would be get the communication channels open and give it a go, because it's only again by actually doing it and learning that you find out how it works for your specific setting.